So, you guys remember the timeline where Jacob Barber went on News Nation with Ross Coulthart, legendary times, when we got our first glimpse of the egg like anomalous object that Barber, but later turned out to be not Barber's original footage that he took, of a anomalous egg being picked up and transported and supposedly made Barber cry. Well, we have a massive update. Do not go anywhere, especially not today.
Sticking out your tongue for the picture. You're so pretty, you're so popular.
If I gave you the date, if I gave you the location and the full details, then what would happen? The people who provided me that video might be implicated.
So, let's just take a real quick recap of the whole situation. I promise it would be worth it, so for anyone that doesn't know what the fuck happened, check this out.
News Nation has independently obtained previously unseen video obtained from a secret UAP craft retrieval program. This extraordinary footage clearly shows an egg-shaped object dangling in a sling below the belly of a helicopter.
Let's slow this down to take a closer look. That's an egg-shaped UAP suspended from a 150-foot long line. We're told the craft is about 20 feet long. The egg suspended in a cradle. And look how careful the pilot is as they bring their precious cargo into land. Let's freeze frame here to look at one of the clearest images of a UAP ever taken. This is no blurry light in a distant sky. The source of the footage putting themselves at incredible risk to record this UAP retrieval. Look at how perfectly smooth the craft is. No markings at all, and no visible means of propulsion or way to see inside. Watch how it rolls, almost graceful as it hits the ground, despite being wrapped in the ropes and canvas from the cradle as it's dropped for pickup. The UAP's final destination still unknown.
So the basic gist is that Jake Barber had recovered a egg-shaped craft like this, but this video in particular has nothing to do with Jake Barber. So it's a little confusing, I know. Everyone wondered about this video, right, and what happened with it.
So I'm not sure if you watch Ross Coulthart in general much, but on the News Nation channel, he always does this show with the same girl where they do questions and answers. People ask questions about all various types of things. Usually it's just Ross saying, oh, I can't tell you more about that because it might implicate the person, blah, blah, blah. But today we might have an update, guys. Check this out.
Can you provide any follow-up on the egg retrieval footage shown during your Jake Barber interview? I responded asking what specifically would you like information on? And he's saying, we know nothing. So any all info on date, time, location, circumstances leading to the landing, crash, retrieval, carried out by who, details of the egg itself, who took it away, where was it taken, etc.
Okay, think about what you're asking. If I gave you the date, if I gave you the location and the full details, then what would happen? The people who provided me that video might be implicated. So one of the things we have to do as journalists is protect sources. And yes, I'm absolutely convinced that the egg video is authentic, it's genuine, and it's very typical of the kind of objects that Jake Barber has been, on his own admission, involved in retrieving in the location he euphemistically calls the range. I can't tell you any more than that because one of the obligations we have as journalists is to protect our sources. It took a hell of a lot to get that video. It didn't come from Jake Barber. It came from other sources, and I know it's authentic. And I'm afraid you're just going to have to accept it. What I find is very, very conspicuous is the complete lack of comment from the Defence Department or the intelligence community or the government. They've said nothing. And the reason why is because they know it's genuine. And they also know that we know a great deal about the range, where it is, and who's involved. And what really, I think, frustrates me is Congress could do this. Congress knows all this because they've been told about all of this in secure SCIF hearings by Jake Barber. They've got this information. So why the hell are we, how does one say this politely, pussyfooting around by not calling people who should be called, or allowing people who are evading being called to evade being called? We should just subpoena these organisations. And that's why it's a very good development that Anna Paulina Luna, the chairwoman of the Oversight Committee task force that's investigating this issue, she's basically said that they're going to start subpoenaing witnesses, possibly involuntarily, and they've sent out interrogatories, questions. And one of the things they should be asking about is questions about these particular facilities where Jake Barber has given first-hand evidence of his direct knowledge of being involved in retrievals. So I'm sorry, I can't give you dates, I can't give you names, I can't tell you who's involved, because to do so is to compromise sources. I think it's an extraordinary act of courage by Jake Barber to have come out and said what he said and done what he's done. And frankly, the most conspicuous thing that I can see is the failure by Congress to pick up on those allegations and actually do the job. I mean, we've just had this depressing situation this week where we've learned that for the third year running, the UAP disclosure laws are going to be gagged in the Congress. It's not going to happen. We're not going to get new laws that protect whistleblowers coming through in the defence appropriations legislation. And that's a disgrace because the Republican congressional representatives could have voted for this, and some of them didn't. And they need to be held, their feet need to be held to the fire and asked why. And the reason why is because they're little lickspittle lapdog puppies to the national security state. Who's running America? Congress or the national security state?
You know, the more I think about it and the more that happens, I'm thinking it's the national security state. I mean, Ross Coulthart can't even give us, like, anything, like, after all this time. Are you fucking serious, bro? This egg, and supposedly it's an aircraft, something travels inside it, but that's not what eggs are. New beings come out of eggs, usually in nature. Now this one is a ship. What the fuck is going on?
What's interesting is for years I've been talking to people who've been telling me that these eggs are one of the more common shapes that you see of these alleged NHI craft. And it's fascinating to finally see one on video, confirmed provenance. I'm aware of where this video has come from. It did not come, by the way, from Mr. Barber. He had absolutely nothing to do with this. It came from other sources who are aware of the recovery operations on the range and who provided with this as direct evidence of the eggs that are and routinely are being procured on the range.
We have a visual! Repeat, we have a visual!
Three-letter agencies, paramilitary, private contractors are chasing down eggs. Guys, either this is crazy disinformation that is just totally fucking blatantly out there and like crazy, right? Or we're just in the weirdest reality we could have found ourselves in. Let me know which one you think it is, or both. But fuck me, it's crazy, right?
Eric Tabor. I work for I did work for a U.S. aerospace company on different projects. I had a security clearance for the past 13 years. My grandmother was nice enough to let me know that I had a great uncle named Sam Urquhart. He told me that he worked at Area 51 from 1997 until 2014. He said, when I first got there in 1997, I had a personal conversation with a senior EG&G engineer whose group was tasked with trying to reverse engineer, figure out an object that was brought there by some CIA people in the 1980s, and it was supposedly found just resting in a remote desert location, fully intact. And the senior EG&G engineer described to my great uncle that it was egg-shaped, about the size of a SUV, smooth and seamless, metallic looking, silverish gray in color, no control surfaces, no flaps, no inlet, no exhaust. It showed up on x-ray as a solid object. They tried to penetrate the hull, try to open it. They couldn't. They said that they were able to take some very small samples of the material. I'm not an expert in chemistry, but I guess the isotope ratio or the mixture of elements, they concluded it was not made on Earth.
So this must be the part where we get into made-up materials. The material that they're trying to reverse engineer that disappears when it's, tampered with too much, to prevent any reverse engineering and advancement of technology for use of war, etc. But imagine we had houses, we could build this with this material, and it's indestructible, and it's like not bad for the environment. Guys, there's so much technology and revolutionizing, tech that could change the whole ass earth in the most positive way imaginable. But we got the deep state, the National Security Directive, just classifying everything, national security. It's so sickening. But guys, with that, we're going to take a second to talk about our sponsor, and that is the channel itself. No sponsor. If you know a business that would like to sponsor, fuck yeah, that would be so sick. I can say one less swear word in these videos, okay? But yeah, so we're going to be talking about, please leave a like, interact with this video in any way you can. That would be massive help. Especially since we're being suppressed by YouTube. It's pretty hard to get the content out there. It just gets lost in the algorithm, and this would really help out, push it out, give the channel a real chance and a chance at continued survival. Speaking of continued survival, make sure you share Patreon down below. You can support for as little as $1, which is less than a coffee. It's less than what you tip your waiter. Like, it's guys, but to me, for this channel, it would help a ton. We have a $1 army. Join that. You get some really cool ass perks, early access to a bunch of shit, and we're trying to really make it special, okay? And you join the Discord, you can contact me directly, instantly, and that would be a massive help. Thank you. PayPal too. All links down below description.
In Socorro, New Mexico, here just outside of this quiet desert town, a state highway patrol officer, Lonnie Zamora, was on duty, as he had been for the past several years. A black Chevrolet was observed, speeding by the courthouse. Zamora put his highway patrol car into pursuit. Lonnie chased the car north on US 85. As he passed this hilly area, Zamora heard a roar, and something caught his attention.
And I could see a white looking object in the distance.
Zamora called in. He sounded very excited. He said he watched an object lift up slowly and disappeared into the sky very fast. I went down to where the object had been, and I noticed the brush was burning in several places. The object had left 4 perpendicular impressions on the ground. I knew Lonnie had seen something. The proof was right there.
Honestly, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy your motherfucking day.